Hello, welcome to Market Avenue. My name is Edward Nyakun. Delays at major ports across the world had become severer as the COVID-19 pandemic even eases, and the knock-on effect is being felt through the supply chain system across the world, and Ghana is no exception. Today we're going to look at the challenges that had come as a result of the supply chain disruptions in the freight forwarding industry in Ghana, and a prospect even as COVID-19 Omicron eases across the world. But before we do that, let's speak the base language for today. Hello, welcome back. We're going to the Ghana Stock Exchange to look at how the week ended on the Accra Bourse. And if we look at the indexes here, the composite index dipped by 0.6 points, and the financial stock was 0 points. And the year-to-date change stands at negative 2.17% as against negative 1.11% in the financial stock index arena. So let's take a look at what actually transpired on the market that led to this dip on the Ghana Stock Exchange. Actually, it was BOP, that's Benzo Oil Palm Plantation, that lost 18 pesos. Its year high stands at 665 pesos, and the year low 647 pesos. So Benzo closed the week on the note of decrease in the share price by 18 pesos, and its total shares that was sold on the market today was 13,701, and it was valued at 88,586 cedis, 60 pesos. So it was the major, driver on the market today. Car Bank traded 3,436, but I did not witness any price change. EGH, that's Ecobank Ghana, sold 4,012 Ghana cedis. And then ETI, Ecobank Transnational Incorporated, 211, and Farm Milk, 135, GCB, 4,137, and GGB, that's Guinness Brewery, did 5 shares, and then Goil sold 800 shares, and MTN, 1,032 shares, and 1 share by Tallow, and then 17 shares by Unilever. But when we look at the market for the week, you realize the volume of shares that was sold on Monday in particular was 13,505, and then it started increasing to 1 million, and then increased on Wednesday to 2.1 million, and then 2.6 on Thursday. But today, only 28,106 shares were sold, and the 28,106 shares was valued at 147,020 cedis, 14 pesos, as against what was witnessed on Monday, which was about 24,830, and then it increased on Tuesday to 870,000, then 2.5 million Ghana cedis on Wednesday, the midweek, and then on Thursday it was 2.8 in terms of the value of stocks that were sold, because we had the volumes were increasing from Wednesday to Thursday, but today it decreased, and the value of the composite index started on a very positive note. I'm talking about 64 billion, and then it continued to dip from 64 billion to 63 billion. Today, it ended the week at 63 billion 713.160 billion Ghana cedis. So this is how the market fared, and we're still in the negative terrain, and we hope that next week, God willing, some great things will happen on the market, because what we're saying is that a lot of people are offloading their stocks because perhaps they are in need of liquidity, and they want to make sure that they get some cash to, do some business out there. So this is how we wrap up today on the Ghana Stock Exchange. God willing, we'll come back here next week. But We're going to look at the supply chain disruptions across the globe, because a container that is supposed to, or a ship that was supposed to move for 65 days is now going to take about 88 days across the world. We're going to find out from Mr. Ni Ayilate, who is CEO of Felix Waters Agencies, more about from him as to what is going to happen in our part of the world. We'll be right back. So welcome back to Market Avenue. Mr. Felix Ayilai, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Great to have you.
Thank you for having the program.
Great. You can take your mask off.
Okay then.
You can take it off completely.
Okay then.
All right. Great. We're seeing a lot of delays across the world in major shipping destinations. We look at Antwerp. We're told that goods are supposed to be shipped from, let's say, Antwerp to some part of Africa that could have taken 65 days, will take about 88 days. And the same applies to Asia and so on and so forth. What actually is causing these delays, in your view, as a freight forwarder?
Okay, thank you. What I know is that in terms of container traveling all the way from Europe to West Africa, normally it takes about 2 to 3 weeks to land. But in terms of the COVID, that has just hit the whole world. That could have brought a setback in terms of shipment. And that has brought also some kind of challenges in the system, so that now the shipping lines mostly find it difficult to travel without loading containers. And what they do is, without having a full load of vessels, they find it difficult to travel. So sometimes they have to, it's just like having a distractor going from one station to the other. And that could be one of the reasons.
Okay.
And also some reasons I know could be climatic conditions that could also affect them. So it's a huge issue that is facing the industry now. And concerning in terms of Asia, for instance, it takes about 3 months for cargo to travel all the way from Asia to West Africa. And what normally happens is that when they don't have any transit point to go to, it takes mostly about 1 month, 30 days.
To come to Africa?
To come to West Africa, yeah.
So what do you mean by if you don't have any transit point? What exactly?
That is to say that if cargoes are to be dropped in some their main transshipment point. The transshipment point is where they leave their containers for other vessels to take to the exact destinations. That's what they do. So that, for instance, in terms of Maersk Line, they have their transit point in I think in Spain or Algeria or something. So therefore, that is where they bring all their transit cargo into. Okay. And then another vessel comes for it into the right destination. That could also be a factor. Now, in terms of bringing a cargo from, say, Europe, and you drop it in the transshipment yard, and the containers are not up to the volume of what the vessel could take to the West Africa coast, it will delay in that transit point, transshipment point. For instance, let me use Ghana as an example. Nigeria and Ghana, when a vessel travels all the way from Ghana, and you have a container in Nigeria, you want the container to come to West Africa, Ghana. If the vessel comes first and discharge cargoes in Ghana, it will be very difficult for the vessel to go back. You want to get to Nigeria to come back to Ghana. It will go all around to South Africa, and then your container will be landed at the transshipment point in Spain in terms of mixed line. MSC also have their transshipment point. You go and put it there. All the shipping line have their transshipment yard, and then you put all the containers there, and then another vessel will bring it. So in terms of Nigeria and Ghana, it will interest you to know that the vessel will take the container a distance of about, say, a week or two, will take about a month or 3 months.
Wow.
And we've had an experience of that from Nigeria to Ghana when they had some perishable items in the container. Before the goods came to Tema, they were all spoiled. So it depends on the transnational level that the container has. That is where it is coming from. From Ghana first to Nigeria, it will be impossible for the vessel to come back and then drop your container and go back to where it is going to.
So in case maybe I'm bringing some goods, like you say, perishable goods, for you to bring from Nigeria to Ghana, but it has to, the shipping line has to go, like you're saying, to take it back to Spain where they have the transshipment yard. And if I, the client, have money, I can pay. Can't I get it done as quickly as possible so that I don't lose my commodities?
Yeah, thank you. It will be very difficult for the vessel to return if the vessel, that is the only vessel that is supposed to, on that particular route at that moment, they will not take it.
Wow.
Yeah, they will not take it because it will cause them to come back, because you're not the only client. Normally, the vessels, just like the radio stations, they have slot as well.
Okay.
For all the shipping lines. Somebody's slot is there for about 20 containers, somebody 100, and the person needs the cargo in, say, his destination as early as possible. Not because of your container that is being perishable. That will cost a lot of people's. The shipping line will not agree to that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great. Now, let's look at the issue of the transshipment. What makes transshipment more important in your business so that we have to go and offload it somewhere and another one has to come in and all those things? Because with COVID, we've seen a lot of challenges in the industry already.
Yeah, the transshipment point makes it so interesting because when a container is supposed to go to the US and from, say, Belgium,
Antwerp,
and it's supposed to go to the US on a vessel that is coming to the West Coast. But that particular vessel is not supposed to go to the US. They will land the containers in Ghana at our transshipment yard for another vessel of the same shipping line to come and pick to the US. That's what normally happens. They will not say because you are so rich, therefore you all the money that you have, you will use that your money. No, don't do that. They will not do it. They go strictly to the shipping rules.
If you look at what happened in 2020 in your industry, 2021.
You're talking about the COVID?
COVID, exactly. How were you hit?
Yeah, in fact, the COVID came at the time when we were all not prepared. It came when we realized that it came and we were all caught pants down. And we all have to, because we all have to go home. And Ghana, we stayed at home for about a month or two. But in the developed world, they didn't do that. So quickly, in the industry, the maritime industry is so volatile in the sense that they take decisions quickly.
Okay.
So all the shipping lines in the whole world took a certain decision that embraced almost all the lines in the world. And what they brought up was that you'll be working out of office, and everybody will have to be in their homes and work. And it came to Africa and Ghana as well, and they all sat in their homes and they started working. You could remember the government, the president did not allow the shipping industry, the maritime industry to close up entirely. We were given special dispensation card so that we could also work in Ghana. So some of us went to work because, you know, we have something called just in time. That is to say that when you have an emergency drugs or emergency product needs to come as soon as possible, so the airline will bring it. So they can't totally close the seaport and then the airport. So that is what normally happens. With the shipping line, there is an avenue that will create and make the lines work. So the shipping lines all over the world, Max Line, they are the big companies now in the whole world. So whatever decision they take, the maritime industry also have to accept it. Especially now we've been told that MSC has now taken up the giant leadership in the shipping industry. So when they bring out a modality that this is what is going to happen, everybody has to abide by it. And we did abide by it. And so we all sat in our various homes and were working. And it was perfect. In Ghana, for instance, there were challenges, but there were benefits as well as from the COVID as well.
Benefit from the COVID?
Yeah, we sat at home, and you can now be at home and then process the document. In my home, I can take my laptop, either my laptop or my phone, and then do whatever I want to do in the form of the paperless. Because of the COVID, it will just be done as soon as possible.
So the digitization process embarked upon by the government it's helping your business? Yeah,
to me it's so effective. It's
How effective is it?
In the sense that those days, when I say those days, way back, we don't work as it is now. There was no transformation in terms of the digitization. So therefore, when you close by 5 o'clock, that ends it. But today in Ghana, you can go to MPS, work overnight, and you get your container cleared. The system is now in place. It's not like those days where you go to the port, 5 o'clock, you get your goods not cleared, and then it becomes something else. No, it's not like that anymore.
So now, 24/7, you're working?
Working, and it's interesting. You find, you go to MPS, you see the place. We have challenges. Those challenges are supposed to be there. If I say supposed to be there, there are challenges that are natural. You surely face challenges, but in real terms, there's a lot of changes.
So the turnaround time, if you look at the digitalization, and how has it impacted positively on turnaround time in doing business at the port?
With the port, with the vessels, it has increased the terminal efficiency.
Okay.
That is to say that they have all the equipment that could make that turnaround in as soon as possible. MPS have all the systems down, so they don't delay. So the terminal efficiency is perfect.
So give me an example. Like say if I've brought my goods from Antwerp to Ghana and I want to clear it, if you do your job as a freight forwarder, Felix Waters, how many hours or days will it take for me to perhaps clear my car?
Okay, it varies in a way. It varies in the sense that sometimes you might face a certain challenge that will delay you, but in real terms, it takes about 2 to 3 days sometimes. But if there is a challenge, it will take you more than a week or two. That is where there is a problem. But where your documentation are all right, there's no problem, you can take it between 2 to 3 days and clear your goods. And we do. Yeah, except of course when there's a problem. You have some of this problem.
So when you talk about challenge, what are the challenges that you think that need to be worked on to make us competitive?
In terms of
your work, I mean, clearing, for instance, let's look at me bringing goods from Europe to Africa, from Asia to Africa, and you were talking about if my documents are okay, 2 days are cleared. Now, what needs to be done, perhaps on my part as a client and your part as a freight forwarder, to ensure that when you get to the port, things are cleared?
Okay, then. You need your document, bill of lading, packing list, invoices should be perfect. I mean, without any problem. Now, me being a freight forwarder, what normally we do is that because of the digitization and the new transformation, it has now made it in a way that we sit at the comfort of our office and send our document. When there is no issue with your document as an importer, I will not have a problem. So the problem will start from your end. But when there are no problems, I go through the system. The other challenges might be with the port and harbors authorities or the terminal operators,
okay,
or MPS or something. When there are challenges in terms of the terminal efficiency, then that is where perhaps you might be delaying. But when these things are perfect, and I know this time, in terms of equipment, the ports, that challenge that the GPH is facing is not trying to, they are solving it, because We met some few months ago, and they've been trying to address those issues. But in terms of MPS, they have it. So MPS is being a challenge to the port sector. Yeah.
Okay.
So they are trying to put things right. So in terms of that, if your documentations are right, I tell you, you clear your goods in no time. Except, of course, there are problems with your documentations. That is where you cannot.
So what can be done as an education, okay, on this platform, for me as an importer? What should I have to do so that we avoid all these things?
You need to bring your document. You bring your bill of now. When you bring a non-negotiable bill of lading, which means that you've not finished paying your freight to the freight forwarder there, it might bring a delay here, and your document might be okay. Your packing list might make sure that the items you have in the container conforms with whatever you have on the document. Okay. If those things, there are disparities, and you prepare a document, it goes to customs. Sometimes customs thinks that the freight forwarder has a full knowledge of what you have done, because it is there like you go to the doctor, he diagnoses you based on what you tell the doctor, and he might be giving you a wrong medicine. Okay. But we don't give me the right information that you have. That these are the items that you have in the container, and you don't tell me. Obviously, I'll also be doing the wrong thing. And when we get to the port, that is where there will be something that we call short collection. And the short collection, if you're not careful, it goes with a penalty. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's what normally happens. So you need to be, straight with whatever you tell the freight forwarder, so that the freight forwarder will rely on whatever you have, and then will use it in preparing your document. And one interesting thing is that, like I was saying there, you know, freight forwarders play a major role in the economy. We are seen as the tax agents for customs. Those custom officer goes around to collect money from importers. We do. We are tax collectors. And we collect monies and bank them for customs. And customs, normally when the government tax them that you are supposed to make 2 billion cedis 2020 or 2022. It is the freight forwarders or the clear agent who does it. We sit at our offices, collect the money, and they are in the inspectors. They inspect it, make sure that what I have done is the right one, so that they don't collect, but we do the collection.
But sometimes the perception is out there that freight forwarders from trying.
That's what they say, but it's not true. But it's not true that we do that. You see, normally people think the freight forwarders are thieves. We are not thieves. We do the right thing. In my office, I don't compromise. People know it, and a lot of people know I don't compromise. When you compromise, at the end, it will affect you. Yes, that's what normally happens.
All right, so let's look at the issue of transshipment. No, not transshipment. Transit.
The transit.
Yeah, transit.
Transit cargoes are cargoes that goes mostly. Why the transit? The transit because you don't have seaport. So
like Burkina Faso?
Yeah. So the landlocked countries bring their cargoes to the seaports, and then in the transactional terms is transit. So therefore, formally when we started this job, the transit job is said that the government had made it in a way that every custom officer that care for that takes care of that document, make sure that within a matter of time the containers are gone. But this time, because of some reasons, it delays. But most of the transit cargoes are not meant for local consumption. They are meant to go out of the country. And when they are going to, because of that, there is an issue called, there is a system called, we brought a new system called, they track the containers. And then there's CCTV that
monitors the movement, track the movement. Yeah. Okay. Now I think you have so much that you have to share, and we have to come back again. Okay. But recently you took an award as one of the by the executive business award. What category? What was the award that you won in the freight forward industry?
Oh, okay. In fact, that issue took me aback. I didn't know I was going to win an award. It just came out of the blue, and I took it. surprisingly, I just accepted it because I didn't know it was coming. It is the freight forward category in terms of that business award that was given to me. And it happened when I went to a meeting at Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders. That's where I belong to. And just after the meeting, they had a call, and they told me I've won an award. Yeah, they told me I've won an award, and then, no, sorry, not an award. I've been shortlisted for an award. So I was wondering what it is, but later the lady explained it to me, and we had to follow the steps. And out of our 200 companies, the shortlisted up to 5 companies. I was still part of the 5 companies, and I was surprised. Now, out of the 5 companies, we were supposed to, they have to, it's a vote kind of thing.
They voted.
Yeah, so they voted.
They took the.
That's why I took the first.
Wow, that's great. Congrats. Now, looking at the industry in Ghana, what are the prospects? Is the future bright?
Yeah, to me the future is bright because in terms of what the government is doing now, because we look at what is happening in the developed world, they have everything in place. And as if the freight forward industry is an institution where we developed an economy, because with that, the freight forwarding, no economy can move. Because we make sure that import comes into a country and the clear agent clears it up. No individual can do that. It is Ghana that they've started doing that, but it is wrong. That perception is not right. So the industry is said that when the government should open it up for the freight forwarders, and there is any issues on terms of revenue collection, and we are being involved, I think it's going to do the economy good than trying to isolate the freight forward from issues of that
in terms
nature.
of export. Now, what if you look at the previous years? I mean, though COVID hit us, how is export faring, and then what is being done by your end? I mean, to make sure that Ghana get the needed revenues from export.
Exports, you know, is a revenue-based issue, and import, the government have to spend a lot. So therefore, the government, what I know or what I think the government can be doing is to increase or relax the system of operation in terms of the export. There are so many hinges that makes the export system very difficult. When you're going to do an export, there are so many, what do I say? Bottlenecks that don't allow the export to go through. For instance, no individual can export cocoa except the Ghana government. No individual can export timber. It is recently you're seeing this rosewood of people doing it. And then the mineral resources, you can't do it individually. So you can realize that the export base itself is not as boom or it's not as big as we expect. But the import rather outweighs the export. Yeah. That's what happened now.
Wow. Thank you very much, Mr. Ni Ayi Felix. Great. We thank you for your time in the studio. We will, God willing, we'll bring you back to shed more light, because we've not even looked at throughput in 2020, 2021. Yeah, okay. We'll take a look at that one. Very important for us to see how the industry is faring. So this is how we draw the curtain today on Market Avenue. My name is Edward Nyako. God willing, we'll come your way again next week. Shalom.